Hi, everyone, which is really just me talking to myself still. Um, while I have the house to myself for a minute, I'm just going to go over kind of what my family has spent in the last week. Kind of a short week. I'm doing Tuesday through Sunday, just because my one from last week was longer. It's not nearly as much as last week's one was. And we're just getting back into the swing of work and school. Kids are back in school. This is our first full week of school. We went back last Tuesday. We went back last Tuesday. My kids actually started school on the same day this year, which is unusual because our school system does elementary school kids and then new middle school and high school students on the same day. And then not new middle school and high school students who've already been in that school before, their first day of school is actually the following day. So it's been the last couple of years that my 9-year-old has her first day of school and my teenager goes to school the next day. So it's my 1 year, they're all together again. So this one, we actually did not, somehow didn't have expenses on the 12th. At least according, I'm sure we did, and they just kind of went through the next day or two, because quite frankly, I don't remember exactly when all this stuff happened. I rely heavily on my banking app to tell me when everything was, but we only filled up one of our cars. Which one? I don't know at this point. We have too many. But we filled up one of them this week. And we do have two different car insurances. My husband likes his cars, and he has a number of older, more classic cars that are insured with Hagerty because it is significantly cheaper than trying to insure them with Allstate, which is who our main insurer is. So our total car insurance budget includes this $57 for Hagerty for his fun hobby cars that he likes to do. We did, I think I mentioned it last time, we did sign up both of our older girls back into their dance studio, got their September tuition paid, got them the new dance shoes that they're going to need. However, that did total, because I paid for all of that in the first month's tuition, everything, that did total this $346. I am actually putting the majority of that in September's dance budget. So I already have, because it's September's tuition and I have a buffer in our bank account, that's going in there. The shoes that I paid for, though, I'm rounding the shoes up slightly. One pair of the shoes was $70, and our dance studio does a shoe return. So if you've outgrown a pair of shoes and they're still in good condition and can still be worn, you can give them back to the dance studio, and I think you get like a small credit on your tuition for doing that. And so then when I buy them for, I think they were like $10-15. Now, of course, my teenager bought brand new jazz shoes. Those were $70. But it works out at some point. I think my kids are happy. They love dance. So that's just what we're going to go with. The other part of dance that is going to go into my other category, just because that $100 was the remainder that I had in my dance category, is the high school dance team had a registration fee. This is, of course, on top of paying for shoes, bows, pom-poms, stuff, everything. It was on top of that. The district requires a registration fee for a couple of different sports teams and dance teams, and I don't even remember all of them. Some don't. Band didn't. Band's a whole other ball game in our district. It is absolutely crazy what these kids do. Dropped her off at 7 this morning at school because of band, and that is just going to be her normal. And to put that in perspective, her first period 4 days a week starts at 8:30. On Wednesdays starts at 8. Every other day, first period starts at 8:30. I dropped her off at 7. So she's doing band, and band is her first period. So she's doing band for almost 3 hours in the morning. But it works out because they score and place really high up in these band competitions that they do. I could not tell you what I got for $67 at my grocery store. No idea. It was something. I made dinners. So we're just rolling with it. It was $67. That's not bad for me, quite frankly. I need to look into our daycare. So I'm writing my own little notes in here, like the remainder of this is going into September's budget, and to check my toddler's tuition because our daycare only charged us for our infant again this week. So I think we're now a week behind for our toddler. So I need to go in and I need to double check, and our daycare is awesome and fantastic and wonderful, and they take amazing care and love our kids greatly. And the director of it is also amazing. Love her. She's fantastic and super easy to communicate with, and anytime we've brought up anything, it gets handled and we get an explanation, and it's great. I don't feel like they're hiding anything. There's nothing, when your kids are somewhere else and with someone else all day, you like knowing that you can ask them anything and they will give you an honest, straight answer, and you don't feel like they're trying to be all politically correct with it. So we love them. So we're just gonna tell her that it didn't charge us and move on. So I paid my student loans, which was in itself a small fiasco because I set this up to come out of my personal checking account instead of our joint checking account, and I don't keep that much money in my personal checking account. My personal checking account does not get that much money in it in a couple of months. So that was a small fiasco. So I had to transfer money around with that. But that's fine. My husband is also an absolute saint. He messaged me last week and said, you have an appointment Saturday at 3 and you will be leaving the house and going and getting a massage. Well, that wasn't entirely planned. My back has just been hurting between picking up kids and working at a desk, and so what I'm doing is I also tip my massage lady really well. Love her. She's fantastic. I cannot write and I cannot write and talk at the same time. So what I decided to do with this, because my husband did it for me and it was wonderful and amazing and special and needed, and I really need to get to a point in our finances where I can do that like once a month. I had already funded dates. Dates had, I guess, over $200 in it. We hardly ever go on dates. We have itty bitty babies. Well, they're not itty bitty babies. There's 2 under 2, and they're 13 months apart, and they're just a lot for any one person to handle. So we don't really go on dates all that much. So there was $200 sitting in there. So I decided to take 50 of it for this massage, and then the other $28 for special events that I fund every month, and that just covers when Valentine's Day comes up and I have to get my 9-year-old's entire class Valentine's, and our neighbor graduated high school this last May, and so her graduation gift came out of special events. So that one just gets funded every month just for fun things. Our Saturday was just a hoot. So I knew about that from, I think he made the appointment like Thursday. So that was Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning, we discovered our kids' bathroom had a small leak. And so my husband is the handiest man ever. He's wonderful and amazing, and this house would have fallen apart long ago without him. He went to go fix it, and the valve something or other was so old and dilapidated. He went to go take it off and it broke. And so there was water spraying everywhere, and I'm in the kitchen putting away dishes or something, and all I hear coming out of this bathroom that's just down the hall slightly is water and a hissing noise, which was from the fountain of water everywhere. And he just bolts down the stairs to the water shut off, and it took me until he was like halfway down the stairs to figure out that he was saying he needed the water shut off. And I was completely useless in that moment, but he then had to do an emergency run to Lowe's to get a new part, and it was fixed within like the hour, and it was wonderful. And my teenager got to sleep in a little bit longer that morning because we didn't have water, and so therefore I did not feel like waking her up, so that she didn't have to worry about when and where she could use the bathroom. When we started budgeting and wanting to get our finances more under control, the agreement that we came to with our family was Sunday at lunch, we would go eat out. So now we're starting that up again, ignoring last week. We're just gonna ignore the last week's expenses on that one. So they picked Qdoba, which was great. I can share my bowl with the toddler. She loved it absolutely and kept asking for more. But yeah, that was when you have to feed. This was really only one of those was a kid's meal, and then like 3 bowls, and it's still $52. It's expensive. It used to be, our kids love this. I don't think that they believe us that Starbucks, Subway used to be $5 footlongs, because now their footlongs are like $13, $14. And we're like, no. They look at us like we're absolutely crazy when my husband and I go, $5 footlongs. And they're like, no, you are nuts. That does not exist. But I swear, it used to be so much cheaper. So my husband's student loans is getting our boost payment. I'm not doing the full amount that I've budgeted for, just for payday purposes. But I did put in $1,600, and that will officially pay off. He's got like 3 loans that are over 6%, or that are 6.5%. Oh, I have it written down somewhere. But he's got 3 loans that all are the highest interest. And this officially pays off one of them and pays a little bit towards the next one. So I'm hoping by the end of the month to have paid off 2 of them. This will officially pay off one of them. It's at like $1,450, something like that, with interest every day. I'm not sure exactly how much it's going to pay off of it. But one will be gone. A little bit will have gone towards the next one. And we're just going to keep going through those. Because that's everything that I've already spent money today. I did grocery order today. No, that's it. That's all I've done today. I've done a grocery order today. So that'll end up being in next week's one. But this is much, much shorter. Then, oh gosh, let me see if I have it. This one, yeah, this was just insane amounts of stuff. But this, so much shorter. Love this one so much more. So we are doing okay so far, even with the craziness that is August for us. There's a couple things that I need to move a little bit around, and I think I gotta decide if I want to do at the end of August like, this is what our budget was and this is what we actually spent, and how money kind of had gotten moved around because our coffee budget got moved, because what's not in here that I did do is school fees. We pay school fees. I don't know if that was a thing when I was a kid. I never knew about it if it was, but also as a kid, I didn't know that you paid for activities. I thought I said I wanted to do ice skating lessons, and my mom said, okay. And I started ice skating lessons, and you just signed a piece of paper saying, I want to do this, here's the time and place. And didn't really realize that you paid for these things. So it could be one of those, but we pay school fees at the beginning of the year, and I think it was something like $300 between the two of them, because now we have a 4th grader, and that comes with technology fees, and the high schoolers is just more. And she has a laptop this year. They gave her a laptop. She's had an iPad for as long as we've lived in Kansas, and now it's a laptop. Now it's a full-blown laptop. So already been used, already been doing homework on it. I don't know. I don't remember this stuff as a kid, but we're just working through it nowadays. We're just gonna roll with it, and everything will be fine. It'll be a great year. Great things will happen. We're gonna learn lots. My kids and me, probably more me, but that's fine. This makes me happier than last week's. Last week's was overwhelming. Okay. Thank you for being here as I talk to myself. Really. Bye.